Welcome to Women's Wealth, the podcast with me, Joanne. My mission is to educate, inspire, and empower you all to step into your own life of wealth. That feeling of being so rich in your mind, body, and soul. I'm so happy to have you here. Let's get straight into it. Hello, welcome back to another episode of my podcast, Women's Wealth with Joanne. I am your host, Joanne, and here I am. Whether you're listening to me on your favorite podcast streaming website or you're watching over on YouTube, thank you for joining me. And if what I talk about today resonates with you, please like, subscribe, let me know in the comments, reach out to me. Every single message, every single person who says that they've listened means the world to me. Today, I am riding solo. I loved my last episode. If you didn't listen to it yet with Lindsay, it was an amazing conversation and she is so inspiring. Some of the things that she said in the podcast totally blew my mind, really inspiring. So go back and have a little listen if you haven't already. Then come back and listen to this episode. So today's episode will be going live on the 1st of June. Can you believe it? First of all, we're 6 months into 2024. I feel like this year, I know everyone always says this, has flown. I feel like I've been doing so many things. I've been so busy. I've been focusing on my YouTube, my podcast, and other things that I wasn't really focusing on last year. And the time has flown, but in a good way, because I've really enjoyed all of the new things that I've introduced. For me, it's been a real stepping point in being able to reflect on, okay, where am I going? What do I want? What is my intention behind all of this? And I feel like, yes, I'm secure in some of those areas, but I also need to sit down, have a think about where I see myself, what is going on. 6 month pinpoint in the year is a really good place to do that. I feel like New Year gets such a hype that people don't then give themselves permission to go, hang on a minute. Yes, I've got dreams and desires and wishes and things that I want to do in a new year, but I'm doing all of that in one night. And I know I did a podcast on forgetting your New Year's resolutions, and it's kind of linked to that we put all of this emphasis that when do we have our check-in points? When do we give ourselves permission to reflect and learn from what's happened so far? Because these targets, these goals, these wishes, these dreams that we say at the beginning of the year, are we giving ourselves the whole year to do them? Are we allowing ourselves time to grow? Month 6, halfway through the year, is an amazing time to give yourself permission to do that. I'm giving you permission to do that. And this is what we're going to go through today. I feel like it's a semi-coaching / mentoring podcast today. I advise you, or I invite you to grab your journal or listen to this and then grab your journal. Because I'm going to be asking you some questions. And of course, I'm going to be sharing my own views, stories, feedback, reflections, because it always helps. We're all in this journey together. So why not ease ourselves through the next 6 months together? I have got my trusty podcast notes here. So if you see me glancing down at my little notepad, that is what I'm doing. I don't know how people record. I'm guessing they edit out when they read their notes. I don't know, but I'm not here for that. I want to be real, I want to be raw, and I have to write things down because I go off on a tangent, I forget what I'm going to say. This is real life podcast recording. So what I want you to do, first of all, is take a moment to reflect on, maybe you wrote them down. Go and find your journal, go and find where you wrote down your New Year's resolutions, your New Year's goals, targets, whatever you want to call them, manifestations. If you wrote them down somewhere, just go and get them, have a little read, see what's going on, see where you are at with those. For me, a couple of those things have already come into fruition. So I wanted for my business to have more time in studios. So for yoga, having more time in studios, so then I, first of all, wasn't driving around as much as I was from private client to private client. I wanted to have more time that I could work on my other areas of my well-being consultancy. Yes, yoga is 50% of that. It's a big chunk. And I decided that, okay, where do I need to prioritize here? Because I need some time, I need some space. So I pulled back. So that was one of my goals for this year, which did come into fruition back in March. So that one I've been able to tick off. Others, they're still in progress. And that's okay because we're only halfway through the year. What I need to do to sort of bring myself back in to where I want to be is the exercises I'm going to give you today. So reflecting on what you may have already achieved, amazing. Go and celebrate that. Have a glass of wine. Go, I don't know, however you celebrate yourself. Have a dance in the living room to your favorite music. Celebrate the things that you've already achieved because there will be something. There will be. I guarantee. And if there's not, send me a message and say, I cannot find anything that I have achieved this year in 2024, and I will help you to find it because there will be something. You probably just didn't write it down. So to reflect, maybe pick one area, or maybe a few, or maybe it's just a whole menage, the right word? Maybe it's just a whole vision of where you want to be at the end of this year. What do you want to happen? Don't be small with this. A lot of the time when I do this myself, so I'm not going to say a lot of the time when I speak to people, I do this. I then speak to my mentor and they will tell me 10x that, make that bigger. So for me, I really want to grow my socials, my YouTube. I want to, and it's not for vanity reasons. This is a perfect way for me to share my voice, share what I love, share my passion. I set myself the goal of having 1,000 subscribers. Okay, that's doable, but why not 10x that? How is it going to feel to have 10,000? My ego says to me, even when I've just said it out loud, because I'm still working on this, it's a little voice that, well, you're not going to do that by the end of the year. It's there. It lives inside my head rent free. But what I do instead is I ask that to just be quiet and I allow myself to feel, what would that feel like? And to some people, 10,000 subscribers is nothing. But I've gone from zero and I'm starting this from scratch and I'm doing this on my own, which I know a lot of people do, but this is my baby. And the same with my other social medias, so my Instagram, my podcast. So this is what I wanted to focus on this year, getting my voice through these channels, sharing my voice with more people. So if I was going to vision where I'm going to be at the end of 2024, maybe I'll have those stats. Maybe I'll see myself opening my emails and see that you have hit 10,000 subscribers, you have hit 10,000 downloads on your podcast, you have hit, what else, 10,000 followers on Instagram. I also have the goal of, 10K months, building up to that. So I'm going to sit down and really just see myself surrounded with those tens. Feel into this then. So how does it feel to have, so for me, how does it feel to have those tens? So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to close down my eyes. I'm going to see it. Open my emails. I'm going to open my bank account. I'm going to see my followers, see my subscribers. And how does this feel? It feels good. It feels nice. It gives me those butterflies in my stomach. It makes me want to smile. Actually feels like I have calm nervous system around this and I feel a sense of achievement and a sense of pride. I see myself opening the email and I'm happy that I've been able to help and people are watching my videos and learning. I'm getting messages of people telling me exactly that and it feels good. I'm just going to hold on to this feeling just for a few moments. It's already done. I'm feeling it, I'm sensing it, and I'm absorbing it. And I'm just going to pin it for now so I can carry on with the podcast. I'm going to go a little bit deeper now. So yes, we have our vision. Yes, we know where we would like to be, where we desire to be at the end of 2024. We know how we want to feel. Remember with manifestation, so if we're talking spiritually, it's all about feeling. So it's how do you want to feel? How is this thing going to make you feel? And allowing your body to feel it. If you've seen The Secret or you've read The Secret, they use the analogy of I think it's the sports car, feeling yourself sitting in the car, closing down your eyes, changing your gears, turning on the engine, feeling the wind in your hair. They cover that in The Secret. So if you haven't read The Secret, it's a really nice beginner's way into manifestation, and it talks a lot about positive thinking, and it's not just about positive thinking, it's about positive feeling. The subconscious doesn't know the difference between our thoughts that are going on and our memories and our visions, so we have to feel it to really believe it. See it, feel it, believe it, take it. Now I want you to, you're going to journal on this as well as feeling into it. You've made it happen. So you have those feelings, you're living through it, you can see what's going on, you feel that you've made all of these things happen. Now in your journal, then I want you to write down, how is this making you feel right now? Yes, we have our feelings for then. So like I've just said, I'm happy, I'm proud, I have a sense of achievement. So that is my feelings that it's already done. I'm looking at this, how is it making me feel now? So am I feeling nervous, or am I still feeling like I'm blocking myself? Am I still somewhere in my subconscious thinking, oh, that's not going to happen, or oh gosh, it scares me? Am I coming from a place of fear? So have a little think, feel into that. See if you can separate your feelings from this is how I feel there and this is how I feel here. Then moving on to how have your relationships changed? So we're going to go to the future again now. I want you to see yourself there. How have your relationships changed? Have they changed at all? Is everything still the same in your relationships? And your relationships can be the people around you, of course, family, friends, husbands, wives, whoever you live with. It can also be the relationships with clients. And in my case, I would probably include people who listen to my podcast, subscribers, relationships that I have with them. So in my vision in December 2024, my relationships with my clients, my subscribers, has changed. I feel like I have, when I'm thinking and I'm stepping into that time, closer relationships. I have formed my community. So I have this solidification of people who want to listen to what I say, and I want to share what I have to say with them. And it's a two-way thing. It's not just me putting out information. I'm listening to feedback. I'm working with my subscribers, my listeners, my followers for my own growth. And that's how I feel. That's what I see, and how my relationships are going to change over the next 6 months to get to my final vision. So do the same with yours. My relationship with my partner's same, family same. I can't see those changing. Actually, when I've just said that, I feel like my relationship with my partner improves because I have my sense that I've achieved these things that I've been trying to achieve. Not that it brings a negative, but I'm able to maybe give a little bit more, particularly financially. Then we're going to reflect on what has happened. What has happened to get you there, to get me there? What have I done? What have you done? Again, stepping back into your vision and work backwards here to this date. So what have you done to get you there? So again, just bringing it to myself so you can see and reflect. So for me, I was consistent in posting, consistent in replying, consistent in reading feedback, consistent with my schedule, posting on time, posting on the same days, consistent with my content. Also reflecting on the content I'm putting out and making changes where it's needed. What do people want to listen to? What does well? What doesn't do too well? And making sure that I'm consistent with that. That is the one change that pops into my head when I'm thinking about my future in 6 months' time. What am I doing differently? What is different? I also have my vision for my other side of my business. So I have yoga, yes, I have my socials and growing on my socials. I also have my natural oils, my work there, and building my team there and sharing with other people and consulting hundreds, thousands, taking it bigger, of women who need to support their health with natural oils, people who want to step away from synthetics and fillers and perfumes And I see a real growth for me there as well. And I think the key word for me is consistency. Consistency, trusting the process. We have to do that to get to where we want to go. We have to stay consistent. It's so easy to think, oh, I haven't achieved that. I haven't done it. And then, give up. I could have given up on episode 5 of my podcast because I'm not getting millions of downloads. But I'm not Joe Rogan, I haven't started with a huge following. People don't know who I am. I had to start from zero. I've had to work up. I've had to stay consistent. I've had to do it for the love of doing it to then see a increase in people listening, people tuning in every week. Now I do have consistent listeners, and I know and I trust the process that this is just going to grow. This is going to get bigger. I am in a service to my listeners, to my followers. Are you making more money? So going back to the end of the year, yes. That's all I have to say about that. And it's not always about money. I don't have a monetized YouTube. I don't have a monetized podcast. I do this, like I've just said, because I love it. But money, we need money. So money is nice. Now, for me, my relationship with money, and I know I've done podcasts on this before, as I'm working on it, because I do suffer with lack mindset, with worrying about, oh, if I spend this, then this is not coming back in. I'm working very hard on that. So something I am currently doing to help the end of 2024 version of me is still flipping my beliefs. I think my podcast maybe of doing this was last year. So when I start to stress, when I start to overthink, when I start to do the maths, I stop myself and I tell myself that I am abundant. I do have a flow of money. Money is currency. Current means movement. And I know that, some people listen to this and they will think, no, that's silly. We need money. It has to move around. We're not meant to keep hold of money because it's an energy exchange. So when we start to take money off a pedestal and start to enjoy it, spend it, know that something will come back into you in time. And again, this is something I'm working on because the little me in my head is like, well, money in your bank account, numbers on screen. So moving away from that. So yes, at the end of this year, I can see myself making those figures that I wrote down in my dreams and my desires, having those good relationships with money. I'm really going to work on this over the summer when I travel. I'm going to take myself on a date with money. I'm really going to switch off from the busy and clients and bookings and workshops and teaching and really pull it back. So this is one thing, again, putting in place ready for December 2024 version of me. How has your health changed? So this one may feel, a little bit awkward or hard to answer for some, especially if you do have health issues. For me, I am, again, a focus for this year. I feel like my word of the year is consistency. Because yes, I teach yoga however many times a week. So I am moving, I am stretching, I am mobile. But teaching, doing, enjoying, taking part in other sports are very, very different. Towards the end of last year, I was kind of like, go to the gym a little bit, then I'd get bored, go to some classes, then I would get bored. Definitely practicing yoga, but not as consistently as I want to get into classes. So I was more practicing at home, which is fine. But as a yoga teacher, I want to go to classes so I can learn from other teachers and, I don't get lazy. I don't get sloppy in my own practice. So consistency for me in making sure I'm going to classes that I love, going and what I love being the main thing there. So I was forcing myself to go to the gym. I don't really enjoy going to the gym and lifting weights. I get bored. I prefer going to a class where there's motivation, where there's, energy. Yes, I do dabble in the gym, but I prefer classes. At the end of 2024, I want to turn around and look back at 2024 and see that I've been consistent. So far, so good. give or take a few missed weeks here and there from the classes that I've chosen to do, and that is also okay. I don't work out hard when I'm on my period, for example. And again, this is me nourishing, loving, looking after my body. So when I look back at the end of 2024, I'm like, okay. And I know I've spoken about sugar. So sugar is another big thing that I'm still trying to break the cycle. I have, because I don't go into the shop anymore and buy a random chocolate bar. And this is not because I'm dieting and I want to lose weight. This is just wanting to nourish my body. Same question, but how has your happiness changed? All of these things have happened. You've made these things, you've created this life at the end of the year. Are you more happy? Has it made you happier? Is your happiness any different? Has it grown? Is it the same? To be honest, these things, when I've achieved them, they're not going to make me more happy in myself, because I am happy. I don't need these things to make me happy. These things I want because they are a sense of achievement. This is my sense of achievement, and that'll look different for everyone. For some people, having a successful podcast doesn't mean anything. Achievements are subjective. So don't base your achievements based on somebody else's, because everyone is different. So if what they think they've achieved, best life ever because they're driving around in a brand new Mercedes, whereas you've got somebody else who an achievement is just having a car, passing their driving test because they haven't been able to do it for the past 10, 15 years. Last question before we dive even deeper. Are you in the same place? Have you moved house? Do you live somewhere completely different city, different town, different country? Do you live somewhere completely different city, different town, different country? Reflecting on that, because that is also a big thing. So if in your vision in 2024 you see yourself and you're somewhere different, again, when we look at this in a little bit more detail, it's things that you're going to do to get you there, because that's what you can see. So for me, I'm still in the same place. I actually have a better podcast studio by the end of 2024 in my vision. So maybe that could go down as a change of scenery, a change of place. But other than that, I'm still here. We're then going to reflect a little bit deeper. And this goes back to the first question. How do you feel when you see that this vision has come into fruition? You have achieved what it is that you're intending to do. I want you to reflect on your now. What is blocking you? So I'm going to give you some examples, because it's sometimes hard to find your block. Is it time? Do you feel like you don't have enough time to do what it is that you can see? Is it your current job? Is it fear? Is it relationships? Is it where you live, your location? Or is it finances? It might be something else, but see if you can pinpoint one or two of those that really sort of highlight what could be blocking you. So for me, I think it would probably be fear of being seen, fear of putting my voice out there, fear of judgment, of not being good enough, of people saying, oh, who does she think she is? My witch wound popping up there. That fear I would then reflect on. You're then going to move on to action steps. What action steps can you take to help you overcome your fear? I'm going to give you a homework today to write down 5 actions you can do in the month of June that is going to start helping you. So when we get from the 6th month into the 7th month, so one step closer, 5 things that you can do to help you to get there. Write them down. I would love to hear from you. If you do write them down, let me know what your 5 steps are. I'll share mine. Mine would definitely be, again, coming back to this word consistency. I need to be consistent. I need to do it. I need to have a plan. I need to execute the plan. I need to record. I need to post. I also need to let this little voice in my head that people are judging, that people are, of course people are watching. I want people to watch. And if people are watching and thinking, oh, who does she think she is? That's their witch wound. That's their trouble. Another action step for me, which I kind of started this week or this past month, is learning a little bit more. So I'm editing my own YouTube videos at the moment. Another action step for me is to continue learning. I'm not perfect at this. I don't have thousands of pounds worth of equipment at the moment. I'm just taking my baby steps. So learning more, maybe reaching out, getting more equipment. I've bought a new microphone. These baby steps are going to get me there. It's just the doing. And that would be my next step. Just do it and just posting it. Just put it out there. One thing I don't do at the moment is check stats. And I maybe think that might be a good thing to start doing if I'm trying to grow. I will use in June, just start looking which podcast episodes are the most popular, what topics are the most popular, what do people want to listen to. One thing that I did actually do, I've started to do, and I already have in place for next week, actually, so keep your eyes peeled. So my Wealth Wednesday videos over on YouTube, yes, people are watching them, but I would get people like, oh, so what do I do then? What do I need to do? So I introduced the ritual. So I'm mixing it up a little bit. I've already posted 2 meditations. I've posted my full moon ritual. By the time you listen to this, there will be my morning ritual. And next week, I'm adding another YouTube video where I'm going to guide people on tapping into their intuition. Every single week, there'll be a different task, and we're going to work on that together, because looking at my videos, that is what is popular. But sharing that with you just so you can see what goes behind the scenes, what I'm thinking of, what we all need to do to help us to get to where we want to go. And that is it. So homework, reflect, what 5 steps are you going to take to help you get to where you want to be at the end of 2024? And please, please, please do not judge, compare, be hard on yourself, because when you look at your list from the beginning of the year, if you haven't achieved the things that you wrote down, reach out to me. Let's go through it together, because I guarantee that if I ask you some pinpoint questions, I'll be able to say, there you go, that's what you've achieved. Stop being so hard on yourself and get to your dreams, get to your desires. End of 2024, I want to hear from you that you've achieved it, you've gone through your steps, and everything is amazing. And on that note, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week. I have a podcast with a lady called Libby, who works with mums to be. She works with mums. She works with ladies with postnatal depression. And we have a really good chat about everything that comes along with being a mum. Tune in for that. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.